Κυρίες και κύριοι, γεια σας. Είμαστε στο Βουλή TV και στην εκπομπή Περί Υγείας. Κοντά μας σήμερα αποκλειστικά είναι ο καθηγητής Vernon Van Heerden. Είναι director της Εντατικής Μονάδας του Πανεπιστημιακού Νοσοκομείου Hadassah του Ισραήλ και επικεφαλής της έρευνας που γίνεται για το φάρμακο κατά του COVID-19 του Allocenta. Dear Professor, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much for having me on your program. I'm delighted to see you again.
Delighted as well. So it would take ages to go through your CV in full. I will just say that you are the director of the General ICU of Hadassah University Hospital, that you have studied, you have a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from Johannesburg University. You have a diploma in anesthetics from the College of Medicine of South Africa, a fellowship of the Faculty of Anesthetists of the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, that you have a Master of Medicine in the branch of anesthetics from the University of Johannesburg, a diploma of fellowship of the Faculty of Intensive Care of the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists, a PhD philosophy, correct? PhD
Yes.
in philosophy, a diploma foundation fellow of the Joint Faculty of Intensive Care Medicine of the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists, and the Royal Australasian College of Physicians. You have a diploma of the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists, a diploma foundation fellow of the College of Intensive Care Medicine, and many more that I won't say because I don't know if anyone will understand. So please, we have read in social media mainly, but we also heard on the news that the drug, the medicine Allocenta is in the second phase, and you have very good results in treating COVID cases. Please tell us about this. What is this all about?
Okay, yeah, we're very excited about the results that we've had with Allocenta so far. So this is the third group of patients that we've tried Allocenta in. I'll describe in a moment exactly what it is, but we've tried it in patients who had bone marrow transplants and in patients who are septic from various other causes. And related to the results we had in those studies, we've now tried it in patients with COVID-19. The summary is like this: when anyone gets an infection, there's two parts to the illness. There's the damage caused by the infecting organism itself, which can be bad, but often the body's response to the infection is what causes most of the damage to other organs. And the main treatment modality or direction of treatment from Allocenta is to reduce the body's response to the infection, and thereby reduce the organ damage caused by the body's response. So what it is are white cells which have been killed. Okay, they're taken from a donor, the white cells are killed, and those killed white cells, called apoptotic cells, so these are cells which have undergone cell death, are then given to the patient who's ill. Those cells, when they're given to the patient, are taken up by the immune system in the patient, and it calms down the response of the immune system. The actual ingestion of these cells, the dead cells, reduces the body's response by reducing the amount of chemicals and so on released in response to the invading infection, and in this case COVID-19. So although it doesn't cure the infection, what it does is reduce the body's response to the infection and causes less illness in the patient. So this is a phase 2 trial, which means that it's given to a relatively small group of patients, and in this case 21 patients, to see what their response is, to check the safety of the medication, and to see whether we can take it to the next stage. So we had a very good response in these 21 patients, with 19 of them making a full and quick recovery, much quicker than other patients with COVID-19. and being discharged from hospital. So that's a very good result, which has now encouraged us to go into the phase 3 trial, which is comparing the treatment against placebo in a much larger group of patients.
And the third phase will take how long approximately?
Okay, so the third phase, because it's a bigger trial, will run over a course of months. We did the phase 2 trial very quickly because, fortunately or not, we had many cases, unfortunately, of COVID-19, so that we were able to recruit patients into the trial very quickly. We're hoping that if they will see less COVID-19 patients in the months to come, and so it may take a bit longer to get the trial done. But I would imagine, we're talking about months and not certainly not years.
Okay. You mean months, 2-3 months, or 6-8 months?
Somewhere in between. It's like 6 months probably, yeah.
Okay. And after this stage, you can get approval from the Israeli Ministry of Health to go to Israeli market first.
Exactly. So where we're at the moment is that we've got very encouraging results from the phase 2 trial. We're able to use the medication, or the company is able to supply the medication on a compassionate basis. We're able to use the medication on a compassionate basis, on a one-to-one request basis. So it's available on that, in that way. But after the phase 3 trial, if all the safety parameters are met and no one's coming to any harm from the treatment, which we believe they won't, then it might go to market. So we're talking about probably the end of the year, something like that.
Okay, and will there be enough production to go outside Israel as well?
Yeah, so the production at the moment is purely on the basis of need. So when we were doing the trial, we were producing enough of the stuff, of the medication rather, to be able to use it for the patients in the trial. Okay, so, and now on compassionate basis, again, we're talking about 1 or 2 doses at a time get produced. Once it goes to market, then production will ramp up and it will be available both inside and outside the country.
Professor, are you leading this research?
So I'm working with a company called Enlivex that produces Allocenta. It's an Israeli company, and in the same hospital where I work is Professor Droma Varach, who's the inventor of this particular product. So he developed both the product and the company, and I work with him, and I've been the lead investigator in 2 of the trials so far. One where we gave it to patients with sepsis from other causes, and now in this trial where we're giving it to COVID-19 patients.
And how are things going now in Israel regarding COVID cases? Is your ICU fully booked?
It's in this hospital, because we've got the real estate, I guess is the term, in the hospital. We've been able to look after the COVID patients in one building and continue normal activity in the other building, the newer building in the hospital. So as things stand today, there's 2 COVID intensive care units in the old building, which are full. Okay, we're talking about 17 patients in one and 14 patients in the other of intensive care patients. The patients who become negative, who test negative twice in those intensive care units, get transferred then to the general intensive care unit, which is also full all the time. So the hospital is under some pressure, but it should be noted that Hadassah is the busiest COVID hospital in the country. So we've had most cases in the country, and continues to be the case. But I think we're seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel now, with the reduction in general in cases in the country, and it's affecting us also. So we're seeing less new cases per day, which is giving us a bit of relief at the moment.
Are there still restrictions and quarantine?
So they've just released some of the restrictions, okay, so that some of the, in fact on Sunday last, some of the shops opened again, restaurants are able to provide takeaway service, for instance, and businesses that do one-on-one services, things like hairdressers and barbers and so on, are able to open. The schools, they're thinking about opening soon, and the airport is still closed, but should open in a week or two. So again, seeing slight, easing of restrictions around the place.
So do you accept international patients now in Hadassah? Because as we know, Cypriot patients with heavy cases, let's say serious cases, travel to Hadassah for a second opinion or treatment.
Yes, it's been very difficult until now, and it's been patients in this condition are able to enter the country with special permission from the Ministry of Health, because commercial flights are closed, but air ambulance flights can arrive with special permission on each occasion. But having said that, on arrival, the hospitals in Israel have been very full and it's very difficult for them to receive new patients. And by definition, patients coming from Cyprus and Eastern Europe and Russia and so on, who come needing Hadassah services are very sick because they've sort of outgrown the services in the countries of origin. But I think probably things are easier now and able to accept these patients again.
Let's hope it will be really soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the very encouraging and positive news, first of all, for your presence, of course. And we will let you go back to research because we need it fast out in the market. Thank you so
very much. Okay, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, παρακολουθήσατε τον καθηγητή Vernon Van Heerden του Πανεπιστημιακού Νοσοκομείου Hadassah του Ισραήλ, ο οποίος μας έδωσε πολύ αισιόδοξα νέα για το φάρμακο Allocenta κατά του COVID-19. Σας ευχαριστούμε που μας παρακολουθήσατε και περί υγείας την επόμενη Τετάρτη μαζί σας. Γεια σας.